Miss Amelia at the library. Happy Wednesday. And today I am back with a take and make craft kit where we're gonna make gingerbread ornaments. So you can pick up a free take and make kit with all of the supplies to make this very cool craft at the Columbus or Saluda Library this week. Inside your kit, you're going to have several things. You're going to have a popsicle stick, 3 pom-poms, and they're super tiny pom-poms, some red ribbon, some twine, and that's a funny feeling kind of string that's in your kit, 2 googly eyes, and they are also very tiny, some white paint, then that will be our frosting for our gingerbread man, and some brown paint, and that will be our gingerbread cookie color. And when you are doing this activity at home, you will want to make sure that you have a tablecloth out or a paper plate that you can work on, a cup of water, and some glue. And it can be any type of glue, okay? Also in your kit, there is a paintbrush. I forgot about that. I already started painting, so it would be dry for our activity, okay? All right, so the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to take the lids off of your paint, and we're gonna start with our brown paint and our paintbrush, and we are gonna paint our entire popsicle stick. And while you're painting, make sure that you, again, are using a tablecloth or a paper plate or some newspaper or something that is okay if you get paint on it. And you wanna make sure for this activity that you are wearing something old or an apron so that you do not get the paint on your clothes, because this is the kind of paint that will not wash out in the washing machine. So you wanna make sure that you are really careful with this paint. All right, I'm gonna put some more brown paint on there, and you can tell that I am already down to just holding the very bottom of my popsicle stick so that it can dry. So you can blow on it if you want to make it dry faster, or you can just leave it on your paper plate and let it dry for a few minutes. Now, the other side of my popsicle stick is already dry, okay? And oh, I see that I have missed the entire side of my popsicle stick. So I'm gonna make sure that our gingerbread man is totally covered in brown paint, because that's what makes him a gingerbread cookie, okay? And for this activity, if you want to make a gingerbread girl, you can do that too, or you can have a gingerbread boy. It does not matter. It is your creation. Okay, so I've got my paint on there. So again, I just have a little bit left over at the bottom where I was holding it to paint it, and we can just let that dry for a few minutes. Okay, the one side of my paintbrush is, popsicle stick is already dry, so I'm gonna go ahead and use my paint on the other side of that. Okay, I have a couple of things that I need to make my gingerbread face. On the front side, we're gonna use the white paint as frosting. We've got our googly eyes and our pom-poms. Our pom-poms are gonna be his little gumdrop buttons, okay? And then we've got some red ribbons. So while your popsicle stick is drying, go ahead and tie your ribbon into a bow. And this is a little piece of ribbon, so you may have to get an adult or an older sibling to help you with this. But the ribbon is gonna be a little bow for your gingerbread person. Okay, and I made my bow too big, but that's okay. I'll get some scissors later and I will cut off this little tail. But for right now, we'll just leave it as it is. Okay, and I'm gonna use some glue and go ahead and glue on my face with the googly eyes and the gumdrop buttons. That way I know where I want to put my white paint for frosting. Okay, so I'm gonna put the googly eyes on first, and you just need a little bit of glue, not a whole lot. And if you accidentally get glue anywhere other than right on the eyes, or right where you want it to go on your gingerbread person, this kind of glue dries clear, and this is just like Elmer's glue that you would use for school crafts, okay? I had some extra glue fall off, so I'm gonna use that so I'm not wasting it, and I'm gonna go ahead and put some on the back of my pom-poms. Okay. Oh, I need a little bit more glue for the last pom-pom. Okay, and that's our gumdrop buttons. So as you can see, we've got our googly eyes and then 3 gumdrop buttons. And I'm gonna scoop my gumdrop buttons down just a little bit because even I forgot that we just tied our bow, and we wanna make sure that we have enough room for a bow to go on our gingerbread person. Now, if you want your gingerbread person to have a bow tie, you're gonna put your bow right on top of the gumdrops. And that's what I'm gonna do with mine. Let's give my gingerbread man a bow tie. But if you're doing a gingerbread girl, you may want to put her bow up in her hair. So that's totally up to you. And whoops, one of my gumdrops fell off. I'm gonna put that back on. Okay. So you can see I've got my 3 gumdrop buttons and my bow and my 2 googly eyes. And my next step is going to be to finish that brown paint down at the bottom where I was holding it earlier to paint it. I'm just gonna put some brown paint on the bottom to finish our gingerbread cookie. And we've got 2 more steps. Our next step is going to be adding our white frosting. Okay, and I'm gonna let this dry just a little bit more, especially down at the bottom where I just added my paint. You wanna make sure that it's really, really, really dry before you add on the white frosting, okay? Okay, and I've cleaned off my brush. I've got all my brown paint off of it with my cup of water here. And now we're gonna use the white paint as our frosting. There are 2 ways that you can do this. You can use the paintbrush end, and I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put some frosting on the top. And I'm just gonna kind of curve it like frosting would look like on a cookie. Okay. And put some down here at the bottom. I put 2 rows of frosting at the bottom because he's got some extra room down here. And then something that's pretty cool with your paintbrush, normally we paint with a paintbrush on this end using the bristles of the brush, but I'm gonna make dots of frosting using the other end of the paintbrush. So I'm just gonna dip it in the paint, and you can try it out on your paper plate. My paper plate's white, so you can't really see the white paint on there, but it will make a nice, pretty circle. So I'm gonna add some frosting dots to my gingerbread man. And I'm gonna put some at the bottom too. And I'm just putting 3 dots on mine in a row because I don't want them to be too big, because I want you to recognize that it's a gingerbread man. And then I'm going to add a smile for my gingerbread man. Okay, my gingerbread person is very happy to be an ornament that's gonna go on my tree. And you can also clean off the other end of your brush in your cup of water, just like that. All right, so I'm gonna let my gingerbread man dry, but this is what he looks like. He's got eyes and some frosting. He has a bow tie that I'm gonna trim off the edge there because I have some extra ribbon. 3 gumdrop buttons and some more frosting at the bottom. When you're doing this at home, you'll want your entire gingerbread person to dry completely before doing this last step. But we've got one more thing in our kit that we haven't used yet, and this is called twine. And this is a brown ribbon or piece of string that's in your take and make kit, and we are going to make it into a holder for our ornament, so it can hang up wherever we want to hang it up. And the way that you make the ornament is you take your ribbon and you fold it exactly in half, Okay, so you've got a loop shape and you've got your two ends together. Now, this is a popsicle stick I haven't decorated, so I'm going to use this as an example because this popsicle stick is my gingerbread man and he's still not dry yet. So I'm going to put some glue on the back of my popsicle stick. And if you have hot glue at home and somebody is at home with you, an adult that can help you with hot glue, I recommend using hot glue with this, but Elmer's glue also works just fine. You just have to be careful to make sure that the holder sticks together. So I've got both ends of my ornament and I'm gonna stick them together in the glue, and they kind of crisscross on the back, both ends of the string, okay? And I put enough glue on there so it's gonna hold both ends down. And remember, any glue that you put on your project that's extra glue, it's gonna dry clear, so you don't need to worry about accidentally having a big white space on the back of your gingerbread man, okay? All right, if you complete this activity at home, please send us a picture because I would love to see what your gingerbread person looks like. The email address to send a picture of your completed project is on the next slide. Have fun!